Hello, family. It's a beautiful day to be alive. Thank you so much for watching all my videos so far. And today is day 3 of sharing my journey as a Ghanaian international student living in Canada, an education consultant. So I've been sharing the story to encourage others, basically to share my story and my journey. And I believe that a 30-day challenge talking about something that I am passionate about would also help me to stay consistent on YouTube. This is a community of genuine, relentless people. So if you think that this is something you're interested in, following through my story, I'll be more than happy to see you subscribe, like, and leave comments about things that you want me to touch on in the subsequent videos. Today, I'll be talking about my visa process, the highs, the lows, and how I overcame the stress of visa application. Did I tell you that I DIY'd my visa application into Canada? Hmm. Buckle your seats. So, my visa story. Obviously, after I got the offer from Toronto School of Management, and then the next step, paying my tuition fees and getting all the necessary documents and ensuring that I had everything that I needed, and then apply for my visa. I had not reached out to any immigration consultant. I had not reached out to anyone. I decided to research the process because I'm like, if people have done it, I should be able to do it too. I went on YouTube. I went to research about the visa process in Canada, all the documents that I needed, every single one of them. I wrote them out in that journal. Remember the journal? Good. So I wrote everything out and then I put everything together. So I explored it and then I was able to create an IRCC account at the time. And then IRCC gives you 60 days, right, to submit your visa application. So I did the whole process and then I had all my documents, I had all my bank statements updated. I went to the bank to collect my bank statements from all the banks that I banked with. I came to do all the financials. I calculated all the monies, the total of all the monies from the various bank accounts and my investment accounts. Remember the investment account? Yes, I had another investment account. So I put all my financials together and then I did a calculation of everything. I knew the total of money that I had, and I had a sponsor. So I put that money together, and then I knew how much I was going to allocate for the required amount from the IRCC side, and then the money I was going to allocate for like my accommodation, my transportation, and the rest of my first year fees. So everything was put together in my financial document. Everything was put together nicely. I scanned all the documents and I put everything that I needed to write, scanned it back to them, converted it to PDF. I did everything. I cross-checked everything, dotted every I, and crossed every T. If you know me, you know that I'm a very meticulous person when it comes to documentation. So I put up every single one of them. So that's one thing. Like I was so poised. Sometimes after work, it was that time that I was going to focus on this visa application process. I had another friend, Kweku. I had Kweku look through the application for me just to be sure that I was not missing anything. Kweku checked for me and then I was able to be sure. And the day I hit submit, I was like, God, I literally was praying every day. You know, Alpha Hour. Yes, I was on Alpha Hour. Now, not because I wanted a visa or anything. I was already praying on at church. I was already praying and everything. So it wasn't like just because I wanted my visa approved and I'm now praying to God. No, don't treat God like that. Don't treat God like that only because you need something from Him. But yeah, what I'm trying to say here is I was more consistent because at this time I really needed him to come through for me. And I was doing this also for my dad because I felt like what he left for me was an investment for me to pursue my goals. And I was still overcoming my fears of missing home and everything. So yes, I submitted the visa. Now, did anybody tell you that that waiting time after you submit your visa can be the longest wait of your life? Tell me why. Tell me why. After you submit for months, you be waiting for the IRCC to get back to you. Let me see by hands if you can relate to that part of the waiting. That waiting process taught me relentlessness. I was like, this thing is coming. My brother was like, when you apply for a visa, you got to have 50-50. Like, think about, okay, if you get denied, this is what you do. If you get approved, this is what you do. Have that at the back of your mind because anything could happen. But I don't know why I was so determined. I was so sure that it was going to happen. So after I submitted it, within 24 hours or 48 hours, I received the biometrics letter, and then I booked my biometrics, and then I went for it like the next few days, and then I was waiting for it to be processing. They got back to me. I think after 2 months of waiting, 2.5 or 2 months of waiting, they got back to me that I should do my medicals. Hey, hey, look, when I received that medical test letter, I'm like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. I was still praying. I went to do my medicals. They did everything. It checked out. They said they would send it to the IRCC. I said, sure. I did my medicals at Akai Clinic. I went. They sent it. I had a copy that I had actually done the medicals. So I was waiting, meaning the next step. Because I had done my research with on the Canadian website with what the next steps are, the steps and everything. So I knew the steps accordingly. I knew that the next step was submitting my passport. Hmm. When I got that letter to submit my passport, I remember that day. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. There was so much stress that was just, whew. So they said, oh, you can use a dispatch, a delivery to deliver to the office. I said, me, ke. You don't know your house people. So I said, I know the way to the office. I went there to do my biometrics. I will go personally to submit that passport and I will go for it myself. So I remember somewhere in November, they I got the letter to submit my passport. I got the letter to submit my passport. I submitted it in person, and within a week to 2 weeks, I got another email to receive to come and collect my passport. I remember when I submitted it and then I went home, I was just thanking God. I was praying and everything, and I told my family. And my accountability partner, again, Charles, knew about it and he was like, wow, this is good news. So I was also like, you know, trying to connect with friends because I was going to leave them, like very close friends. So I went to receive my passport. See, when I went to receive my passport, the lady that gave me the passport was like, feel free, open it up. I was like, yeah, but I'm nervous. You know how you receive something, but like you are not sure you are, that one. So I received it, I opened it, and I saw the visa. I said, God. And she said, congratulations. I'm like, thank you. Whew. Let me have this thinking. So I took the passport in the envelope. I put it in my bag. I sat in the trotro. I went home. Like, I didn't even know how to feel. Like, I couldn't express the joy. I couldn't. I couldn't. I don't know if you can relate to this, but I couldn't, like, express it. And I got home. I think when I left the office, I took my passport, left the office. I text my brother. I text him. I was like, "Hey, I got my visa now." And he's like, "What? Damn it, Lydia." Yeah, I got home and I was so thankful to God. I was so thankful to God for the support of friends, family, when you have people who fan into flames your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. It is so beautiful to see. And I'll be ending today's video with a lesson to any other applicant who is looking to study globally, not just Canada. I would say that yes, you can keep it a secret, but know who to talk to because those people can encourage you, they can pray with you, and especially for visa. A lot of things keep changing with regards to immigration. So, if you're going to immigrate into any country, and also saying this in the light as an education consultant and not an immigration consultant, I would like to say you seek advice, seek help, because right now a lot of things have changed. I applied for my visa in 2022, and between 2022 and 2025 a lot of changes have happened. So it will be best to seek legal support if you can afford it, or get someone who can really guide you through the process. um so that was how I overcame my stress, the highs and lows of my visa process story. And I hope that this encourages you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and join this family. My name is Lydia Esenam, and I'm on a 30-day challenge of sharing my story of how I came into Canada as a Ghanaian international student and my life as an education consultant. I'll see you in the next video. Keep being awesome. God bless you. Bye bye.